Wayne or Councilman Fitzie Umanu, can you guys hear us okay?
Hear you okay? Yes.
Thank you.
Was it used effective last week? Did they just switch them?
It was a couple weeks ago.
It was actually the week before. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Fish. All right, sorry for the delay there. All right, sorry for the delay. Welcome, and we'll call to order the regular meeting of the West Valley City Council. It is July 18th, 2023, and it is 6:33 p.m. We are meeting in the council chambers of West Valley City Hall. We will excuse Councilman Whetstone from tonight's meeting. We have Councilman Fitzie Umanu on Zoom with us. And then we have at the dais, Councilman Harmon, Councilman Hune, myself, Councilman Christensen, Councilman Nordfeld. And then we have our city recorder, Ms. Kamick. And then also on Zoom, we have our city manager, Mr. Pyle. We will now turn the time to Councilman Christensen for our opening ceremony.
Thank you, Mayor. This morning I was listening to the radio and they announced that July 18th is Nelson Mandela International Day. And I thought, well, Nelson Mandela was a great leader. But what is an International Day? Well, it's a day that's recognized by all countries. And what they want is for you to do some service or do something to better your community, much like Nelson Mandela did for his entire life. And so take an opportunity to go out and better your community, not just today, but during the coming weeks also. And with that, let's stand and pledge allegiance to the flag of our United States. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you so much. We would now like to move on to our minutes of June 27th, 2023, and I'll turn it to the council for discussion or a motion on the minutes.
Move for approval of the minutes.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And those stand approved. We'll now go to our presentations and we will welcome Mr. Corey Rushton to our council meeting tonight. He is going to give us a report on the proposed property tax increase by Jordan Valley Water Conservancy District for water service purposes. I'll turn the time to Mr. Rushton.
Good. Thanks, Mayor. And, I just came from the county council meeting doing a similar report, and I am so glad to be here tonight. That they have so much odd things going on in the county today that it was a bit of a circuit. But I'm really happy to be back with familiar faces and familiar territory here with my hometown. I will point out that I'm chairman of the board at Jordan Valley Water Conservancy District. I'm here with our Deputy General Manager, Mr. Jacob Young. He's going to give Nicole a little bit of information here and, kind of a one sheet if you want to get deeper into some of the details. And I'll go through the highlights, but I'd be remiss also to, mention that, Mayor Lang also sits on this 9-member Board of Trustees. And over the years, West Valley City has been very well represented at Jordan Valley, Utah's largest water supplier and leader in water conservation. We have a history, and Mayor Maloney led the days of Jordan Valley Water through a lot of changes. And then we had both Margaret Peterson and Steve Taggart serve as chair and vice chair. And now we also have, myself and Mayor Lang serving as chair and vice chair. And like I said, the city is very well represented there. And I think a tribute to the staff and also to the mayor that our voices are heard there. And I think that's important. The purpose of being here today is that, I think, what was it, last year, 2 years ago, that by state law, the legislature requires that we visit the entities that we represent to let them know of our intentions to hold a truth in taxation hearing and raise taxes. And so, in fulfillment of that law, I'm here today to, report on that for you. I know you all are very familiar with the truth in taxation process, and so I don't have to get into a whole lot of the details on that, but I'll run through this, quickly, and you've got some additional information, and if there's other parts that I leave out, you can holler at me. But again, Jordan Valley Water Conservancy District, formerly Salt Lake County Conservancy District, has a large and growing service area. Basically encompasses all of Salt Lake County, with the exception of some Sandy and Salt Lake areas. And it's arguably the largest water wholesaler in the state. And we have member cities and member agencies and improvement districts and a retail service area. And as a growing district, we have financial future projections that are based on increasing water supplies and capital expenditures, which are needed to serve our customers and for future infrastructure. So again, state statute brings me here today to let you know that we are proposing a rate increase and a truth and taxation hearing for April 9th at 3 p.m. Budget highlights are that we have a total budget of $177 million, which is capital needs on top of operation and maintenance revenues. And our proposed tax increase would generate approximately $2.3 million more revenue than the previous year. And it's a 9% increase. And that equates to $8.90 for residential property, an average residential property in our area, Jordan Valley's boundaries of evaluation, assessed value of $558,000. And that's a 1.8% increase of on the total cost of water when you break it down that way. So I know the question they want to know is like, yeah, what, increased revenue, what are you going to use it for? And I'll tell you the story of when I was here at the city and I was the chair of the RDA. I signed on the $9 million bonds for the redevelopment of the Valley Fair Mall. And when I did that, my hand was shaking, like this, because $9 million is a lot for our city budgets, right? But for the entire, for our entire service area, I'm going to be signing on over $100 million in bonds this year. And so we've got some heavy capital expenditures that we'll go through. 70 million is expected over the next 5 years to go to our Jordan Valley treatment plant in Harriman. And so that's where, the water quality comes into play, that we need more capacity and better technology to make sure that our water is kept safe and clean. And, as you know, that Granger Hunter has, which most of West Valley has their own supplies here of well water and shortly to come treatment facilities within the city. But over about 80% of the water that comes to West Valley City would be cleaned at this treatment plant in Harriman. So that's the biggest project, I think, is that $70 million over the next 5 years. And over that next 5 years, we're projected to issue over $190 million in bonds, and our debt service will be going up by $6 million. And, so I think the projects and the debt service is the big ticket items for this tax increase. But the good thing about the way that Jordan Valley has been responsible in bonding is that it will allocate costs over time, that a lot of the projects we're doing now will be of benefit, 10, 20, even 40 years down the road. And when you pay for it with a property tax increase and subsequently bonding, those people that will benefit from it 40 years are actually participating in the cost. And it's just not all upon the current users right now. And so I know this, I always thought Jim Welch coined the term three-legged stool, but we like to think, that Jordan Valley has a three-legged stool as well, with the property taxes, which can cover our bonding as well as some of the public good of water. And then the rate fees that are charged to the retail and the end users, as well as impact fees and other connection type fees, kind of set up the Jordan Valley three-legged stool. And we currently enjoy a AA+ bond rating, which for the size and budget we have is about the highest you can. I mean, we're really proud of it, and it's strong for an agency of our size and helps us have lower costs on our bonding and repayments and some of our water rates. So I think the last thing that I would, just mention with that three-legged stool is that, property taxes, user charges, fees equate into a split payment system. And it's important tools that we've been given by the state legislature to be responsible stewards of the life sustaining resource of water. And, that's, I think, my report. I mean, we got the numbers back. It's, and I don't know if I've mentioned this before, the legislature's capped our taxing authority at 0004. And we've typically been around that 0004 rate, but this year, with property values in flux, it's actually dropped to 00312, and this proposed tax increase would raise it up to 00341, which is about the lowest tax rate that the district's had probably in about 25 years or so, long as we've kept records on it that I have. So that's all. Jacob's giving you some information. If there's, there's some of the projects on there. If you have any specific technical questions, I can take a stab at it or have Jacob, but I think that's the report. The only thing, the legislature changed the law last year that says you have to provide, I'm supposed to report back the sentiment of the body. And so I think last year Lars sent me a text and said, great job, you're awesome. And so if you want to do that again, it'll actually be on record, Lars. So as per the new state law, but again, like I said, I know you guys have a lot of important things. Thanks all for your service. Said, I know you're going to open this up here, but I'll stick around if you have any questions, or we can get any more information to you later about the goings on at Jordan Valley. And always, like I said, with both Karen and I around, we're always available to help out with any questions you might have. So thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. We appreciate your time coming out, both of you. So I'll now turn it to the public. Is there anyone that wanted to make a comment on this report? Okay, I will now turn it to the council. Were there any questions or comments? Okay, seeing none.
I would just like to encourage residents to attend their public hearing on August 9th. And, and follow up on that. And if you've got any questions, follow up with them even beforehand.
Thank you. So good job and thank you. You explained it well enough. No one has questions. I will remind you that we still are conserving water this year, even though it seems like we have a lot. We don't know if we'll have a good winter this year, so we do need to conserve water to make sure the reservoirs have something for us for next year in case we have a bad winter. So just because we had a good last year winter doesn't mean we can just overuse our water. So we appreciate everyone conserving as much as possible. So with that, thank you, Corey and Jacob. And we won't make you stay. You can go off to your next meeting. All right, we'll now go to our award ceremonies and proclamations, and I'll turn the time over to Council Member Harmon for our declaration for this month.
Proclamation declaring August as Neighborhood Nights Month and August 1st, 2023 as National Night Out 2023 in West Valley City. West Valley City strives to reinforce the importance of crime prevention awareness in the city, and crime prevention events have been planned throughout the month of August. The National Association of Town Watch is sponsoring a unique nationwide crime, drug, and violence prevention program on August 1st entitled National Night Out. And the 40th Annual National Night Out provides a unique opportunity for West Valley City to join forces with thousands of other communities across the country in promoting cooperative police community crime prevention efforts and police community partnerships. Neighborhood safety, awareness, and cooperation are important themes of the National Night Out program. The mayor and city council of West Valley City do hereby determine that it is essential for all citizens of West Valley to be aware of the importance of crime prevention programs and the impact of their participation can have on reducing crime, drugs, and violence in West Valley City. Therefore, the mayor and city council of West Valley City do hereby proclaim August as Neighborhood Nights Month and August 1st, 2023 as National Night Out 2023 in West Valley City, and encourage residents to participate in the various activities taking place throughout the city in the month of August.
Okay, thank you. And just as a reminder on the end of that, National Night Out is so important to us as a city and the city council that we do not hold meetings that night. So it's a Tuesday evening. We will not have a meeting August 1st, and we will be participating in night out parties and whatever else they have going on. Festivities, there's my word. Okay, that public service announcement's been done. Let's move on to our public comment period. Public comment period is limited to 30 minutes. Any person wishing to comment shall limit their comments to 3 minutes. Upon recognition by the mayor, you will approach the microphone. If you did not sign up, please give us your name and address, otherwise just your name. All comments shall be directed to the mayor. No person addressing the council during the comment period shall be allowed to comment more than once during the comment period. Speakers should not expect a debate with the mayor, the council, or staff. Mayor, council, and staff will have time to respond within the 30-minute period. Speakers shall refrain from personal attacks against fellow citizens, city staff, or members of the city council. So we have our sign-up sheet. Hopefully everybody remembers their number. So speaker 2, speaker 1 crossed his name out. So there we go.
Good evening. Hope everyone's well. I had 2 issues. One, I spoke to you before a few weeks back about street lighting and talked with Dan Johnson about that, but I have not received any information since that time on what's going on. So I would like to have something, the approved by UDOT or what's going on there. I understand the funding is there. So what's going on? Second issue I have tonight for your information is about the street lights. They're gorgeous, they're beautiful, and we as the taxpayers in 2019 we had 36,842 households paying now $3 a month, which is $1.3 million plus a year. How long is it going to go on? What happens when it ends and new street lighting is in? Is it going to be rescinded? Is it going to move on to something else? It seems like a minor thing, but $3 from everybody, it's a lot. So I would like some information about that from somebody knowledgeable. What's going on? Maybe Dan Johnson again, I'm not sure. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Speaker 3.
Good evening. My name is Gundi Jones. We reside at 4396 South, 3200 West. And I'm here to champion a cause for the people that live on 4400 Today, as I was gardening, came home from my office, garden, I do that every day. There were the children bike riding, and one little girl that was about, I think between 6 and 8, a little one of those little matchbox racing cars came down the street, probably going at least 60, 65, very close to the curb. She jumped off her bike, threw it down, and ran on the grass of the neighbor's yard. It happens frequently that street racing is happening on our street. It is a residential street. We have children that are playing. And these little cars, we had a guest come out of state. He was a police officer formerly. He has resigned and was retired, I'm sorry. And he was sitting on the porch. He had a little momentum from his days as a police officer that was showing the speed that the cars were going as they drove by. He sat with us Saturday night on the porch of 3200, and I was pointing out the little hummingbird nest, and he was saying, no, you have to watch how fast they're going. So it was a kind of twilight, and it was a quiet evening, and he clocked one car going 80 miles an hour on the 35 miles an hour street. And Sunday night, we were seated outside by 3200 on our lawn. We were having a dinner outside. It was so hot, hotter than the hot dogs. But we were seated there and watching, and he was measuring a car that was going 70 on the 25 miles an hour zone. So it is becoming increasingly dangerous, and the summer is here, and kids are doing crazy things, and one of them is street racing. 4400 had always presented a problem with that. So my neighborhood would really like to request that you look into speed bumps. We have property in West Jordan. We have an Airbnb, and Dixie Drive had the same problems, just going right straight up, and then you go right to the center, the shopping center, and they installed speed bumps, and the neighbors have said how very much effective that has been. It's also streets that has children on it that are playing and active. So we would like you to consider that. There's a school, the elementary school is there, children walking to school. So I think that would greatly enhance the safety for that neighborhood. And yes, I love the thought of participating in Night Out and having neighborhood get-togethers in August. We do
Thank
that
you.
anyway because we have a swimming pool. We have the neighborhood out thing every
Your
night.
time is up. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, speaker 4.
Hello.
Hello.
So I wish to comment my opinions and kind of suggestions about transportation. So Bangor Highway is expanding because population in Utah is growing. I'm excited for Bangor to function as a freeway. That's going to be really cool. Like it's been building for forever. But I'm still concerned about transportation. Making roads bigger or better for cars won't solve everything. And for future population growth, I support the development of other forms of transportation. So for myself, I ride my bike a lot, but it's hard to do because most destinations don't have bike racks and most roads don't have bike lanes. Often I'm afraid to ride my bike on the sidewalk because cars will pull past the sidewalk before they can see me. I'm just not very visible. But when I'm in a bike lane, I feel a lot better. And so I support adding those to roads, like most roads, if we can. And while I'm talking about bike lanes, I'll express my opinion that you shouldn't be able to park in a bike lane. There have been many times when there is a car in the space that I have on the road, and I have to pray that there's no one in there to open their door while I'm squeezing through. I'm like, ooh. Or sometimes I have to stop and completely go around. I also support the development of public transportation. Right now, it's kind of slow. What might take me 20 minutes to drive to Sugar House Park takes me an hour and a half by public transportation. So I just think that it would be very efficient for Utah's population growth to have a public transportation system that's better. It makes sure that we can get there and not just I. And that ends my comment. But I'm here today because of the encouragement of my US government class. And part of my assignment is to prove I was here. There's a Zoom call, but I'd also I'd also like to get a selfie with you guys if that's okay.
Yeah, we usually
Yeah.
do those after the meeting.
Meeting? Sure, I'll do that then. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, speaker 5.
Good evening. Thank you for your time. My name is Kessa Vakapuna. I am a small business owner out here in West Valley. I own a CDL trucking school, and I operate right here at the Maverick Center in the overflow parking lot. I'm the main renter there. It's 10 acres back there. And things are going really well. A lot of schools do reach out and need space to teach. And so I do try to help out other schools as well. The only problem that I'm having right now is the trailer park that's right next door. They're always complaining about noise or finding anything to just not let us just be a school. And so we've taken out all of the beeping from the reversing just to help them out and with the noise. Our classes do go from 9 to 7, but now due to the complaints, they don't want us there past 5, and they've taken out Saturday and Sunday. I am certified with the state with the workforce, and so we are here. We're putting people back into the workforce, letting them know work smarter, not harder. And it just is a challenge when you have the trailer park residents. They're just, I wish they could come out and meet us and talk to us, because we are more than 300-400 feet. Like the parking lot is so big, we stay away from their side just for the noise reasons, and it's still not good enough. And so if someone can just please reach out to me or help me out to work together with them. I feel like we're doing a great thing for the community, but it's hard to work when these guys look for any little thing to complain about. And I know 3 minutes, I can't really break down everything, but again, thank you for your time. Then the last thing that just came to my mind is if there is any other available parking space that you guys have. Again, there's so many schools that are coming here. Utah is such a great place to get your CDL. I'm getting slammed with my spot, but yeah, that's all. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, speaker 6.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Jim Desock. I want to bring up again, since we only have about a month for you guys to make a final decision on it, the change of form of government and letting the people decide. You guys will be the one that will do the proclamation, but the people of West Valley City will decide that. I believe the people in West Valley City, I have faith in them that they will do the right thing. And I would hope you would give them the options to vote in this voting cycle. There's 50 million reasons why. You guys know what that is. And it's probably closer to 51 now with interest. Next thing, while I'm out there campaigning, it's no secret, I'm out there campaigning. 2 issues have been brought up regularly. One of them is code enforcement. And people, they don't know about the city app where they can go on and do a service request. I think the city should do more advertising to let people know, because it's not just for code enforcement, it's for streets, it's for administration. It covers everything. I think the city needs a better way of getting that word out, because people say, well, I call in, I make a report, nothing happens. Well, I tell them, did you do it through the app? Because you get a case number and all this. They didn't know about it. So I think the city could do a better way of educating. The other thing is the fitness center. A lot of the words are disgusting and old. I wrote down dirty and old. I'll just leave it at there. They talk about the VASA, Planet Fitness, all around how clean and modern they are. You know, we supplement the fitness center $1.5 million a year. Now they come, they came for more money for our electric bill. I just think we either need to have better management, keep them in a budget, or possibly close it down. And then I went to a funeral this week. Little less time there. Ron Sorensen. He came up and did a mission from Draper with the My Hometown Project. This man's a big guy like Lars and myself. He would get down in the mud. I didn't realize he had done this his whole life. This was his 4th mission. These are the kind of people we're getting in my hometown. He passed away. Luckily, it wasn't on My Hometown Project, but this man had 2 bad knees and 2 bad hips. And he was down in the mud with me doing sprinklers. These are the kind of people we're getting up, and I feel he needs to be recognized. His name was Ron Sorensen. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Was there anyone else that wished to speak that did not have a chance to sign up? Okay, and was there anyone in online? Okay, thank you. We will now close the public comment period, and I'll turn it to our city manager. Did you have any comments tonight, sir?
None tonight, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll turn it to the council for any comments. Seeing none for the bicyclists, I will say that 3100 South is pretty much striped for bicycle from 56th to at least Bangor.
Yeah.
So we did one good thing this year
Thank you.
to help on that one. All right, we will now move to our public hearings. We have application ZT for 2023, and I'll turn it to Mr. Pyle for an explanation. Oh, you're on mute, sir. Still on mute. Can you?
Pardon
unmute
me.
him?
Yeah, I was
There we
trying
go.
to use the space bar thing. That wasn't working very well. So thank you. Yes, ma'am. Introducing this item, the council's been talking about changes to the code enforcement effort and ordinances for some time. And this public hearing and ordinance changes in sections 71103, 72127, 77115, and 711-205 represent those changes. Quick summary of those. One of those would add a definition for the term decorative dirt. One of those would address standards for the use of artificial turf. One would address standards for home occupations and would reduce the number of allowed garage, basement, or yard sales from a maximum annual of 4 to an annual maximum of 3, and then would also address landscaping and irrigation standards as to the requirement for live plant material and basically clarifying the percentage as currently required in code. This would clarify that the percentage requirement would be of plants at their full growth, not at their planting. And I think that's about it for introduction, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much. Does the council have any questions before we open the public hearing? Seeing none, we will now open the public hearing. If there is anyone here to speak regarding application ZT4 2023. Seeing no one that wishes to speak, we will close the public hearing, and I'll turn the item ordinance 23-23 to the council for discussion or a motion.
I approve ordinance 23-23.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Ms. Kamic.
Councilman Fitzie Umanu.
Aye.
Councilman Harmon,
Yes.
Councilman Hune,
Aye.
Councilman Christensen,
Yes.
Councilman Nordfelt,
Yes.
and Mayor Ling.
Yes,
Motion passes unanimously.
thank you. We will now go to ordinance 23-28, and I'll turn the item over to Mr. Pyle.
Thank you again, ma'am. This ordinance would amend titles 110 and 24 concerning administrative code enforcement. And the basic change here would change administrative citation penalties from $400 to $500. for third and subsequent violations, would also provide for the appointment of a board to work alongside the administrative law judge in administrative hearings for code enforcement. And also adds an affirmative defense that is called, as it is called, to provide vehicles covered with vehicle cover, and there's definition as what's appropriate cover, are not inoperable and therefore would not be subject to citation.
Okay, thank you. I will now turn ordinance 23-28 to the council for comments or a motion.
I would move to approve ordinance 23-28.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Ms. Kamic?
Yes.
Councilman Christensen,
Yes.
Councilman Hune,
Yes.
Councilman Harmon,
Yes.
Councilman Fitzie Umanu,
Aye.
and Mayor Ling.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. We will now go to ordinance 23-29. Mr. Pyle?
Thank you, ma'am. This ordinance would amend section 12102 and provides for updating GIS digital map and map fees. And basically the gist of this is the ordinance, well, technology has passed our ordinances, and so therefore we have proposed modifying the ordinance such that any charges that we need to pass on to consumers and citizens using those would reflect the direct cost of those services, as opposed to hard copy or aerial photos or U.S. public land survey systems that we used to use.
Okay, thank you. I will now turn it to the council. Ordinance 23-29 for discussion or a motion.
Mayor,
Motion
I'd move,
approved. Go ahead.
I'd move to approve ordinance 23-29.
I'll second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Ms. Kamic?
Councilman Fitzie Umanu,
Aye.
Councilman Harmon,
Yes.
Councilman Hune,
Yes.
Councilman Christensen,
Yes.
Councilman Nordfelt,
Yes.
and Mayor Ling.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. We will now go to our resolutions. We'll begin with resolution 23-104. Mr. Pyle?
Thanks, ma'am. This resolution would appoint Matt Hanson and Stephanie Hanson as administrative law judges.
Okay. I will turn it to the council now for discussion or a motion for resolution 23-104.
I move for approval of resolution 23-104.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Ms. Kamic?
Councilman Nordfelt,
Yes.
Councilman Christensen,
Yes.
Councilman Hune,
Yes.
Councilman Harmon,
Yes.
Councilman Fitzie Umanu,
Aye.
and Mayor Ling.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. We'll now move to resolution 23-105. Mr. Pyle?
Thanks, ma'am. This agreement would be between West Valley City and the Utah Division of Forestry, Fire, and State Lands. Often we use their services in attack and suppression of wildland fires around the state, and sometimes that would include within our own borders. This agreement simply recognizes that relationship and would allow us therefore to be able to utilize those state services without cost.
Okay, thank you. I will now turn it resolution 23-105 to the council for discussion or a motion.
I move for approval, resolution 23-105.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Ms. Kamic?
Councilman Fitzie Umanu,
Aye.
Councilman Harmon,
Yes.
Councilman Hune,
Aye.
Councilman Christensen,
Yes.
Councilman Nordfelt,
Yes.
and Mayor Ling.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. We will now go to resolution 23-106. Mr. Pyle?
Thanks, ma'am. This authorization or this resolution would authorize purchase of 1,872 garbage containers for replacing old and dilapidated or obsolete ones that we currently have for the amount of $122,000 out of the sanitation fund. And the bid was procured through one of our government purchasing systems, and we are therefore ready to submit that for your consideration.
Thank you. So resolution 23-106, I'll turn to the council for discussion or a motion.
I move for approval of resolution 23-106.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second. Ms. Kamic?
Councilman Nordfelt,
Yes.
Councilman Christensen,
Yes.
Councilman Hune,
Aye.
Councilman Harmon,
Yes.
Councilman Fitzie Umanu,
Aye.
and Mayor Ling.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. We have two items on our consent agenda, which one is a right-of-way and the other one is a right-of-way. Purchase agreements. Is there any need for introduction from Mr. Pyle on these two just routine items?
Yes, ma'am, only because the first one, the one with, let me see, with Rocky Mountain Power.
Rocky Mountain Power, yep.
Yes, will also appear on the special one-item building authority meeting that we're about to have here after the council meeting. And this is simply to facilitate the power connections at the Mid-Valley Connector Bus Rapid Transit Project there by our light rail station, and will allow for charging facilities for the UTA bus hub and also for electric vehicle charging stations on or in our parking lot.
Okay, thank you. So the two consent agendas items, we can take them one at a time or both at once. We have resolution 23-107 and 23-108. I'll turn it to the council for discussion or a motion.
Motion to approve both items of the consent agenda.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Ms. Kamic?
Councilman Fitzie Umanu,
Aye.
Councilman Harmon,
Yes.
Councilman Hune,
Yes.
Councilman Christensen,
Yes.
Councilman Nordfelt,
Yes.
and Mayor Ling.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. We have no need for a closed session. We have one more meeting we're going to hold after this one, but will not take very long. But if you want to leave, you may. We don't get offended. It is our municipal building authority meeting. So for this particular meeting, we have one more motion.
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And we stand adjourned.
Welcome you to the special building authority meeting held July 18th at 7:14 at City Hall. Members of the board are present. We do excuse, all members are present except for Chairman Whetstone. We've had our opening ceremonies. We have our minutes of June 20th for consideration by the board.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those have been approved. We have resolution.
We need a
Do you want to
vote.
vote?
Oh, let's have a vote.
Not, I'm just.
Roll call.
Say
Oh, all in favor of approving minutes of June 20th, please say aye.
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 All right, now they're approved. We have one item of business for this evening. Mr. Pyle, do you want to introduce again, just reiterate what you said about the Rocky Mountain Power underground right away?
Absolutely, sir. Yes, thank you. So this is the building authority side of the underground right-of-way easement in favor of Rocky Mountain Power for those electrical charging facility services that I mentioned earlier. The reason the building authority is involved here is because they have, it as an entity has property right interests that need to be resolved for this purpose.
So just so I'm clear, the city owns some of the land, the building authority owns some of the land. It's all part of this right-of-way easement.
Correct.
Okay. Any discussion by the board or motion?
I move for approval of resolution 23-06.
Second.
Ms. Kamic?
Mr. Fitzie Umanu,
Aye.
Mr. Hune,
Aye.
Ms. Ling,
Yes.
Mr. Christensen,
Yes.
Mr. Nordfelt,
Yes.
and Vice Chairman Harmon.
Yes,
Motion passes unanimously.
thank you. We're done with our agenda. We have one more motion.
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye.